Hey. Morning, Bill.
Morning. I've been notified that we're being recorded.
Oh, that's good. Amazing. David remembered. Uh, a little more energy today.
A little, yeah. I don't know. It's just hanging around.
Well, Hopefully it will improve soon.
Yeah.
You think it's the moon?
Moon or the rain or whatever, or the bridge.
Suddenly Jane has had 3 nights of having a really hard time sleeping, which is not really her pattern very often.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's the moon too, or but something's going on.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah. Oh, Joanne. Good morning.
Morning.
Hello, good morning. Sorry.
Why
One more thing. There's always one more thing that somebody throws at you at 10 minutes to 9 in the morning.
is that?
Well, because people are late and they should have gotten it to me yesterday.
Ah,
I think they figure if it's before 9, it's yesterday. I'm not sure about that, but
that's an
one
interesting
of my
thought.
theories. Or they do it real, or a lot of people work really late at night and then you see it in the morning, like
Ah.
I'm not looking at my email at 10 o'clock at night to see if anybody's finished something. I need the review.
Yeah. You need some break
I have
somewhere.
some limits, not a lot, not enough, but some. How are you today, Bill?
I am fine. How are you?
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
aside
not too bad.
from
I'm also kind of frantic because I have tickets to the women's Final Four in Cleveland.
oh
And
wow.
thankfully, UConn is in it. This is a friend of mine who used to live in Connecticut. She went to UConn as a grad student. So we used to get student tickets to games up at Gamble. And normally I just watch them on TV, but that was fun. And then she moved out in between Toledo and Cleveland. So she has been looking forward to this for years. Like, she's kind of known this. This game was near her house. So she bought tickets like a long time ago. I think the prices have like quadrupled since we bought them, and I'm not even sure. She hasn't told me what they cost. So anyway, yeah. But now I hear there's snow up in upstate New York. I'm picking up a friend in upstate New York. It's like it's snowing there now.
It's always snowing there.
Well, I think that is true, probably. Yeah, she's like, "Oh, get your snow tires on," and I'm like, "We don't have snow tires in Connecticut anymore."
Yeah, right.
When was the last time anyone used snow tires?
We
Oh
were
well,
talking
but yeah.
just last week or the week before, are chains still, are they legal?
No.
I don't think they
Oh.
are anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, because they wrecked the street so badly.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
remember my dad putting them on when I was a kid, but I don't
Oh,
think I
yeah.
ever had them in any of my cars as an adult. Yeah.
I remember them out in Indiana
Oh, I'll
and
bet.
New Mexico, but
Yep.
Oh, in New Mexico. That's
I
interesting.
used them when I was young, and put them on.
And put
yeah,
them on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the pain. I remember that.
that's
Yeah.
fun.
Not.
Morning, Bill.
Morning.
Morning. Good morning. What we're putting on in New Mexico?
Yeah.
Car chains.
Snow,
car
snow
chains.
chains. Yeah.
Why you had that? You were in an area of New Mexico that was high and snowed, or I don't think.
Yeah, the ranch where I worked was 7,000 feet.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Well, that would do it. Yeah.
And we had 2 peaks over 12,000 on the ranch.
Wow.
And so some of our grazing places were quite high
Great.
up.
Yeah, I would guess. Wow. Yeah, because you don't normally think of New Mexico as snow area.
Um,
I don't.
Actually, when I was there, we never had any seriously deep snow, but we'd have 3, 4, 5, 6 inches. Yeah.
Right.
So Adam, as usual, is working. Fortunately, I am recording. So he may join us. He's going to try, but poor guy, he's got a lot going on.
Right. And it's not in his, control.
No, it's not entirely in his control. He apparently got to work this morning and he said there are a lot of things going on in the unit. So I'm not sure what all that may be, but sure it's not easy.
That's got to be dealt with.
Yeah. So all of your minds sitting on your lower dantian.
When we try.
I'm working on that one.
So what reports do you have from this week's practice?
Well, I've had sort of severe distraction with a house full of relatives and grandson and stuff. So my practice has been a little bit erratic, but it was there. So, and yeah, I think the reverse breathing and thinking about the lower dantian, the lower dantian helps that coordination, and probably just, and I'm sure just practicing that more. But and it has felt more natural. I think last time I talked about it, I was reversing the reverse without realizing it, and that seems to be a less frequent thing. It seems to be a more natural as you think about the dantian and think about sort of rolling the abdomen and at the same time that you're inhaling. So that's good.
Good. Progress.
Yeah, I would say my reverse breathing is a bit smoother also. So it's going in the right direction.
Good.
Slowly. And I've been working mostly on the 5 points, but that involves the dantian. So
Sure. Yep.
I do it falling asleep. I get into bed and it's not the only time I do it, but I find that helpful in terms of getting to sleep also. So
Oh, good. Yep. Yeah, I often practice and not certainly thinking about the more martial aspects, but
Right. Yes. No.
picking the covers.
thinking about the internal aspects and particularly breathing, I can really help that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I always practice early in the morning, and so I get up and I have just a little bit of coffee and go. And one morning I got up, I was very hungry. I hadn't eaten much the night before, and I had a smoothie. And you don't do that. You don't have a smoothie and then try to practice these things.
Yeah.
No. This is where, yes, an empty stomach for quite a while is really important.
Yeah,
I mean, I think, yes, because the reverse breathing, it comes easily to me now because
Yeah.
I've practiced it a lot. So I think it's just kind of trying to, pull it together, and for each new each new thing added, yes, the mind and the lower dantian, it's just kind of continuing to add that. And I also kind of like Bill, I had a house full of folks over the weekend, so it's always
Yeah.
hard with the grandkids, like up in the morning early. They
that
don't have a lot of patience for you to walk off for a half hour. So
that sort of limits things, yes.
yes, it does.
Yeah, that it is important not to try to practice immediately after eating. The recommendation is a minimum of an hour and
Yeah.
preferably a couple of hours. So that's why Joanne's practice early in the morning is a good idea.
Yep.
So, let's complicate things a little.
Oh,
You mean
that's
there's
good.
there,
I like that. I
mean,
could
there-
see Bill Nagel.
you mean there's more? I'm surprised.
Things were going too smoothly.
That's when you thought you had it. Another layer.
Yes, well,
It is a little like those incessant infomercials, right? But wait, there's more.
it is sort of like that. You're right.
Not really. Those are actually disgusting.
Yes, they are.
So lengthening with the breath is something that you're going to be doing in all the movements of God's. And it's a little bit hard to see because in some of the more gross stuff, if your body lengthens, you can see it, but the process of how you're lengthening below your skin is hard. Yes, David, hard to see, and not just the fact that your tissues are lengthening, but how you're doing it. This will take a little bit of explanation. So let's look at a few things first. If we look at breath and qi, the classic metaphor in China is that breath is not qi and qi is not breath.
Mm-hmm.
The Chinese word for breath and for qi is the same word, qi. But your breath, although it brings in oxygen and everything else, could be described as a bit like gold mining. If you have a ton of dirt, you'll get a few ounces of gold out of it. And the rest of the bulk of that ton is just going to be dirt. So in order to find the gold or qi that's within the dirt of your mind, it has to be quiet. And it needs to start not just focusing on the breath happening and what it's doing, but what's inside your breath. Now, Bruce pointed out that he had done a course on this in Crete, where at the end of 3 weeks practicing 5 hours a day, everyone was able to have a sense of being able to feel the breath and the qi moving directly into their body and recognizing it. So we'll do the best we can, but obviously that's not how we're going to focus this. It points out that in order to get this to work, again, my favorite word, practice, practice, practice. So the first thing is that you've got to get your mind inside your body. And even more difficult, you need to get your unconscious mind inside your mind, into the more subtle side of your mind, because your conscious mind normally will not appreciate chi, but your unconscious mind can. And there even is a middle ground between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind that can kind of recognize what chi is as well. So we're going to go into this practice, and actually you can do this first part seated, but good to sit in a good position with the back straight and feet flat on the floor. I understand that in China they call this the emperor's position. If you sit a little bit forward on the edge of your chair and have a straight back and the knees directly above the ankles and the feet flat on the floor and the head lifted and hands could rest on the thighs or the knees, they call that the emperor position. So for just a bit, I want you to start doing reverse breathing. Just breathe in and out. So what do you feel? Now, some people have the ability to see chi in someone else. But when you're doing it yourself, you're not going to be able to see your own chi, particularly not see it move. You can feel your chi move, and you can feel what its quality is. But at the risk of being rude, there is a big difference between watching pornography and actually sleeping with a person. So chi is a feeling. It's a sensation. And that really is the only way you can recognize it in the beginning. So as you're breathing in and out, there is your breath. And what does it feel like? And then the next question becomes, is there something else? You may not be able to get exactly what it is and how it works, but is there something else in there with the breath? And now have your intent say it wants to find that thing that's different. Inside your body, let your intent find that thing that's different. Till you can have your breath and intent merge. This is where we want to start. And then we will backtrack. And now I want you to stand. Just as we've done before. Settle into your basic structure. Continue with reverse breathing. And let your mind go inside your body. Now, whatever way your mind can feel, let your mind now start to go everywhere in your body. So there's no place in your mind, in your body, that your mind can't go. Now, using your intent, have your mind deliberately move your intent from the crown of your head into every single part of the inside of your body. And remember, not the skin, not the outside, but the inside. Now, as you inhale and you exhale, use your intent to move your breath through your body. Maybe start by having your breath move from your shoulder to your fingertips. There is a sensation of what your breath feels like. It will create a sensation. Do it with one arm and then the other. Then your head and neck. The front of your body. The back of your body. Your hips. Buttocks. Tailbone. Into the front side and back of your legs. Inside your knee. Inside your calves. Inside your ankles. And your feet. So you have the sense of your breath moving through your body, and it should cause a concrete physical sensation. Because the way your breath is going to interact with your nerves, since your nerves and your breath are very connected, will enable you to feel these things. Now the next thing is to have your intent do the same thing your breath did. And have your intent go to every place in your body. Make your intent get longer and longer until it can reach the bottom of your fingers and the bottom of your toes. Let your intent go from the crown of your head to the bottom of your feet. And then come back from the bottom of your feet, through your legs, up your torso, your neck and head, to the crown of your head. Simply reversing direction. And now let your breath and your intent merge. You can feel your breath throughout your body. You can feel your intent throughout your body. And if you're finding it difficult to maintain the reverse breathing, you could go to regular breathing, but it would be better with reverse breathing. And now have your breath cause your tissues to lengthen. Lengthening outward, down the outside of your arms and legs. Lengthening inward back into your torso. All the things we've done with lengthening. And now let the movement of your breath and intent, which have merged, cause the lengthening to happen. So your breath and your intent and the lengthening are all the same. The lengthening of your breath as it gets longer and longer. Lengthen your tissues. This is going to both sides of the chicken and the egg. The intent is causing the lengthening of your tissues. And the lengthening of your tissues is causing your breath to get deeper and stronger. But remember, you have to use your intent to make this happen. It is not just going to magically happen. And as you start doing this, you might even start to recognize that your intent, once it's inside your body, can almost feel as though it's another kind of physical force And as you're doing this, there is something else inside your breath, which is the chi. Now turn your intent to feeling what is the difference between the sensation of breathing and this something else that's inside of you, which is the chi. And this is the game of extracting the gold from the dirt. So now if you can get this feeling of what the chi is, wherever in your body you pick up that feeling, let your intent surround it. Have your intent move in your body where you want your chi to go. And let your chi follow your intent. Maybe if you're at your shoulder, you let your intent go down to your fingers. And have your intent move your chi down to your fingers. Or anywhere else inside your body you want it to go. Because now you're directly feeling chi itself and not feeling all the shadows of the chi. All the things that when your chi moves will happen inside your body. You're separating the electricity from the device that it's powering. This method is very beneficial because you're actually working with the thing itself and not its shadow. When you visualize and you're seeing colors and you're seeing chi moving this way and that way, you're dealing with a shadow of the chi. You're not dealing with the chi itself. And that is because you can't feel the chi. If you can't feel the chi, it's better to have something to at least get you moving in the right direction. But right now, we've been starting having you directly moving the chi. Once your intent can find that difference of what's in the breath that's chi, that your intent can begin to merge with your chi and tell it where and how to move in all the ways you've been told to move chi in gods or any other chi practice. The benefit of this method is that it's stronger than indirect methods of visualizing your chi. When they really talk about doing Qigong or Neigong, this is what they're talking about doing. So when you're ready, pause and relax. Now, this is a really important distinction. It can be difficult, but I'm interested in what you felt.
I think at first just including the lengthening and the awareness going through the body and with the reverse breathing, at this particular time was probably my best reverse breathing sustained, and then bringing the mind intent to that. I found thinking about the 5 points helpful with extending the mind, and it was mostly extending to the extremities rather than centrally, for me, at least now. Yeah, it was interesting too, but a lot of the feeling of the form without the physical going through the form was happening too. So
Good.
There were a lot of different feelings. I felt my breath. My inhale was rich, and I'm trying to figure out how do I even describe it? Creamy, rich, not thick. I don't know, but there was like a smoothness that came in, and then when I on the exhale and it was moving to the extremities, it was tingling. And that started quite soon after I started, and I did feel I was getting it to the extremities. I think it's on the inhale, obviously, that I kind of feel the more internal organs and the like, and then I think I concentrate more on, or was my mind intent was going more towards the extremities on the exhale. I find that an indication of chi moving for me is really an increase in saliva. And so I felt that quite quickly, quite early on, and that continued But it wasn't until later on that I really felt much more of a tingling. Well, I did feel a real difference between the tingling inside and then the tingling in my tissue as you were talking through that.
Mhm.
So that, just even those reminders, had a result. And then by the end, my brain was tingling.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Yeah, and I actually took off my watch at some point because it became distracting. It was like there was almost like a weird tingling over there. I was like, nope, just kind of flipped it off.
You know, many years ago, actually, at this point, I stopped wearing a watch because I had exactly the same
Yeah.
kind of response. It just got in the way.
It gets in the way. And most of the time I don't wear it for practice. I just didn't think about it this morning before class. Yeah.
You know, interesting.
Yeah.
Good. That sounded good.
Yeah. It was very good.
So all kinds of things going on. Maybe a bit of unclarity about all of it, but when we were sitting,
Mm.
I immediately had a bunch of tingling in the torso, shoulders, head, as opposed to the lower, the legs, etc., which is where I usually feel tingling. And the tingling, sort of an electrical force field kind of sensation,
Mhm.
is what I associate with energy movement or chi. That's, I don't know whether that's accurate or not, but it was there. As soon as we stood up, the legs kicked in.
Mm.
Um,
Interesting.
and then um, you went to the breath and then the intent. But in order to move the breath, the only way I can imagine doing it is to intend, so I was in my mind already using intent,
Mhm.
rather than a separate thing. Um, and my arms certainly, my back a little bit felt like they released. And that
Mm.
even before you mentioned lengthening. So I don't know whether I was jumping the gun or what. Yeah. It was very. I still feel tingly. Yeah, sitting here.
Yeah.
So,
it really worked up something.
yeah, and that's good. I was, um, I mean, of course, the point of this exercise was to try to go beyond the tingling,
right.
to where you actually directly felt the chi, not just as tingling, but actually identify it and could, with your intent and breath, move it. And so that is a subtle, somewhat perhaps hazy thing at the moment, but I think to try to keep at least in the back of your mind that's where you're moving towards, because it's a very different feeling, that you are with breath and intent directly moving the chi than simply feeling the chi move.
Okay.
Mhm.
And one of the things, of course, is that when you can directly move the chi, you can move it anywhere with your intent that you choose for it to go. So it's not just that there is a feeling, but that you are creating its movement. So going a little bit deeper with that. So, clearly practicing this way, just standing or seated even, is easier than doing it with the movement of gods.
Mhm.
But we've talked about how we want the energy to move in gods.
Yeah.
And so as you practice the movements of gods and begin to focus on this, you're endeavoring to bring this awareness into your practice of gods, obviously. And that's all I've got today, guys.
That's a lot, David.
So, yeah,
I feel no scarcity.
No, I think this is a lot.
A lot. It's a lot.
it is a lot. Yeah, there's quite a distance between the shadows of the chi and the chi for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a really important stage. So you guys are making progress. By the way, you can be proud of the fact that you're even at this point.
Mhm.
You have done something to arrive here. And yes, it will take some more practice, but you're doing well. So,
It is a building on all, yeah,
yep,
constant
absolutely.
adding to, yeah.
Yep. Okay, well, have a good
Great.
week. And I'll see you next week.
Yep.
I got all your checks. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
good. All the money got there. We're the old-fashioned people. We all send checks.
All except Adam.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, after I had that fiasco with PayPal, I was like, nah, I'm just sending checks.
Yeah, I know. I'm still kind of that way myself.
Yeah, no, I work with somebody who's 27, and he said he went into the bank a couple weeks ago, and the teller is somebody he went to high school with, and he ordered checks, and she was like, "What? Like you're in your 20s? You ordered checks?" I said, "Yeah, I'm old, yeah,
There's some of us still doing that.
There's some of us still doing it, right? Yeah, and with all the hacking and everything else, I'm just as happy to be
I
doing
know.
that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right,
Have a great week.
Okay,
Thank
bye,
you.
guys.
everybody.
Well, that'll be an interesting practice to do while I'm on the road for 6 days.
It certainly will.
I can try. I have my own bedroom, and most of the time, I think, yeah. Anyway,
Where are you going this time?
so this is Cleveland. Remember, this is
Oh,
the
right.
trip to the Final Four. So I'm
Right.
driving. I have a Warrior Sisters League is has had to file a FOIA against the state of Connecticut, because the state of Connecticut has given millions of dollars to General Dynamics Electric Boat. And part of that, this was back in 2018, beginning of 2019. And part of it was an agreement that Electric Boat would give them reports about the number of people they were hiring, and the increase in hiring, and the increase in using Connecticut subcontractors. It's all supposed to benefit us, right?
Mhm.
And apparently those reports are going in, but they won't make them public.
Oh,
And one of the Warrior Sisters League hired a really good researcher who shares our perspective and values to do economic impact by the state and local governments, because we keep hearing this is a great economic benefit, but we keep not seeing that. And we see the opposite in terms of the amount of money that the state and the cities are throwing into one of the richest corporations in the country.
Huh.
And so Electric Boat is claiming national security. And we're like, we're not asking for state secrets here. We're asking for how much are people getting paid?
Yeah.
And we're paying. We as a state, not as the corporation, we as the taxpayers, you know, are doing that. And so they're actually going to have, we have to have, we did have to do this about some other income issues. And we did find out that 400 people who work at Electric Boat are on SNAP benefits or on basic food stamps. Not bad for good jobs, huh? 400. I doubt these are people with 12 children, right? Because most people don't have 12 children anymore. So there's something you know, there's always a bottom of the barrel for people, you know, for corporations. So we were able to get that without going to a hearing. But Electric Boat's really fighting this, and they're bringing a lawyer to this hearing. Which I find bizarre. I mean, they're hiding something clearly. They're
Yeah.
hiding something, and that alone is a story. But we need to go through this process and hope that we get some information. But so Colleen has put together a wonderful. So I do that, and then I go upstate New York and pick up my friend, who then we drive to Cleveland. I drop her with her son and daughter-in-law, and then I go to my other friends who got the ticket. So then I do that in reverse, and then we stay for the eclipse. So it's like it's all in the same, you know, it's like one day later. I'm not leaving, you know. So
Yeah. Right.
but then I have to drive back, hopefully, so I can be in class on Wednesday morning. So
Oh,
there'll be some long days. And that Tuesday will be a long day somehow. We'll either drive a little bit on Monday night back to upstate New York, or we'll figure it out. You know, some of it you just
Yeah.
play by ear. I don't have time to overplan.
I hope you have a lot of fun.
I do too, and I need a break. I'm just getting, you know, I can be responsible to some degree for 3 organizations, and usually some are ebbing and some are flowing, and right now they're all flowing heavily. So right now,
Oh man.
there's 3 plates that I have to keep in the air right now. So I need that. Also, just people are so irresponsible. It's just too many people saying, "Oh, I didn't read that," or "I didn't know that," or "You never send me anything." And it's like every 2 months I send you this report. Oh, well, I don't read them. I didn't think it was in there. It's like I could give you 3 examples every day for most of the last 3 weeks, including one this morning, where somebody I was kind of like, "Hey, come on board, you know, respond." And somebody responded and said, "Oh, did you ever send us this stuff?" And it was, I not only sent it, it was a discussion at the last board meeting. Like, attention. I would never ask that question without going back and looking first, because I don't want to look stupid. But a
Yeah.
lot of people don't mind looking stupid, apparently.
Isn't it disturbing to discover that?
And why people in literally each of the 3 groups, I've had those examples in the last 10 days. So it's like, yeah, I need a break. And there's nothing you can do about that but walk away to some degree. Like, just breathe and just
Yep.
say, I need a break from this craziness, you know.
Tai Chi out the door.
Whew, out the door. So yeah, and nothing like a car ride, you know, like a trip.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't even think about getting in a plane with everybody else getting in a plane this week. So, and all the
Yeah.
plane things have all the problems. That's not that far. It's like 10, 11 hours. So
Yeah.
I can do that. I can do that. So in terms of the form, I'm still practicing. I'm still really challenged by by not using my my arms. Not that I'm not using my upper body. But what the challenge has done is made me practice form more, and try to get to that point where I'm trying to get, you know, through the parts that are around, you know, around incense, as I say, that are still a little challenging.
Mhm.
But I did have I had some muscle problems this week. So a couple of days I just couldn't practice at all. I don't know what that was about. I'll go
Mhm.
to the chiropractor today. You know, just like such tightness. They're just like, usually I know why they're tight, but
Yeah.
because something else is off, and I couldn't feel the something else, but I can certainly feel my leg pain. So
Ouch.
So I don't really have questions.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll get to the forum and if all the practice this week will work while on the road, but I'm kind of hoping my mornings, except for the ones when I have to drive, are not too rushed and I have time. That would be
Yeah.
good for me.
Well, I hope you have a good week.
Thank you, David. And I hope I have some good practice because this is really, I like this. So
Yeah,
I'll bring the, well, I am bringing my computer, so I could even do it with the, yeah, I do find that hearing your voice kind of describe it kind of really helps. I mean, I always read what you send, but
oh, I
the,
know.
but
But this is a good practice to,
doing the practice as we just did,
yeah. Yeah.
I think
that
will be good. Yeah. All
help.
right.
All right. Well, good luck.
You have a good
dealing-
week also.
I will.
Okay.